Beginning B.K. Ramarao's career in 1973, he set a legacy that his children continue to uphold. Srinivasa Sharma has 3 siblings, 1 brother and 2 sisters. His brother is an advocate in Visakhapatnam district. 1 sister serves as an additional district judge in Kurnool. And the other sister is also an advocate, keeping the family legacy alive. Srinivasa Sharma sir holds several degrees, BCom, BL and LLM in crimes and torts from Acharya Nagarjuna University, as well as an LLM in contracts from Annamala University and an MA in English from Andhra University. He was selected as a magistrate in 2003, became a sub-judge in 2014 and was appointed as a district judge in 2019. Now I would like to invite Sir to give his address.
In the field of lawyers, any member of the fraternity, when he hears the word Ambedkar, certainly will have good knowledge. Before I speak anything about Ambedkar or his philosophy or his contribution to the judiciary, just I would like to make the situation little lighter. When we say it is a birthday celebration should be of joyfulness and some wit and humor, something like that. It should not be too technical in lecturing. And I do not know how my other friends would deal, but I am very certain that I will not just give a lecture. Certainly, something I would add, and we will talk about Ambedkar's contribution to the judiciary. Most of you may be knowing Telugu, some of you may not be knowing Telugu. So I am compelled to speak in English only, bearing few sentences which may I use, which may be in Telugu. Before I say something on this occasion, let me say something about the topics preview or bird's eye view. The Constitution is safeguarding the rights of the citizens. There is no doubt. Supreme Court is said to be the watchdog of the Constitution. So, when we say we need to protect the values enriched in the Constitution, the first and foremost institution which can safeguard its interest is Supreme Court. Being the members of judicial fraternity, we should be happy, we should be proud that we contribute something to it. Supreme Court, day in, day out, would try to protect the rights of the persons, which has been initiated in various laws, and all the laws tested with reference to the Constitution only. If any law is against the basic principles of the Constitution, that would be held to be void or unenforceable. So, we need to test every action with reference to the constitutional mandate only. So, when I said that it will not be a lecture, and when I start saying it, you may wonder what is the dichotomy I am observing. Why should I say so? If it is in Telugu, it would be more appropriate, but I do not know how many of you are not conversant with Telugu. Insofar as the subject of Ambedkar's philosophy is concerned, I am certain that each and every student over here might have already checked their cell phones. They might have taken voluminous records about Ambedkar philosophy, and everyone knows it. If I start saying Ambedkar is an architect of the Constitution, there you find in some this thing. If I say that he was a protagonist, you can find it. Everything is there on the record. So what to speak of Ambedkar which is not known to you, or which is in a different fashion? That is my endeavor today. So I shall start with a small example and let us see. Telugu chala mandi eladu. How many of you do not know Telugu? Majority or minority? It is a minority, so I can translate also. Or you can start with English only. You know that laws are enacted by Parliament. The President of India would assent it. Or laws are enacted by legislature. The government would give an assent. Then it would be enforced. The enforceability would be in the hands of the executive. Legislature does the drafting, executive would implement it. Whether a particular law is good or not has to be tested before the courts only. Now just let me give an example of a law. Today we have say 545 MPs, and all the MPs have taken a decision or sat together parliament this session, and a law has been passed to cut off my head. Is it good or not to cut off all the 545 have taken a resolution that Srinivasa Sharma's head be cut off. A legislation has been made to that extent, and Honorable His Excellency Murmu Garu has given a assent to it. Now it became a law. Now they can send anyone to cut off my head. And naturally police people have no other way except to implement the legislative directions, and so the police people will come and say that Sharma Garu, you have to be executed. Are you happy? I'm not happy. If it is my head, all of you are just thinking, okay, let us see. But just imagine, if it is your head, then what do you say? If it is my head, it's okay. But everyone pose a question for yourself. This is my head. Then definitely you will say that this law is atrocious. This law is not enforceable. This law is void. This law cannot be implemented. But even if I cry what, the police people will not listen. Then where to go? How to protect myself? Where is the option for me? Where is the revenue for me? Then it is the court. I can go to the court and say that you wanted to execute me. I don't have any problem in execution. But let me know the reason for execution. Suppose they give a reason which is similar. Not just, I will take time again. Say Kasab, you are along with Kasab. You have 26/11, you are actively participated. So something against national interest, therefore your head should be cut off. Probably court would agree. But they are not given that reason. Because I never knew Kasab, Kasab never knew me, we never had any interaction, phone call, cell phones. So they say that you are 6 feet tall, that is the reason we wanted to cut off your head. This is absurd. Then ask any other reason. One reason may not be sufficient. This is 100 kilos plus. Because ideal weight should be somewhere 80s. You are crossing it. Obese eating means you are eating more. So you are in a way taking away a crunch of the food of the others also. So you are causing some loss to the nation. So your head should be cut off. Then that is also not good. Then ask any other reason. They said that you are a little black. You are not fair. Then these reasons they assigned it. Now they wanted to cut off my head. Should I accept it or not? Definitely not. Then I go to court. Court would ask all the same questions. The police people or executives would say the same thing. These are the reasons on which the legislation has been passed. So your head needs to be cut off. Whether the court would accept it or not. I am very certain that court will not accept it. Why? There should be a purpose in any legislation. There should be an object to achieve. What is the object we are achieving by cutting off Sharma's head when he is 100 plus or he is 6 plus or he is doing something? So, when the enactment doesn't serve a purpose, when it is irrational, when it is arbitrary, when it is not as per the rules of the naturally that legislation has to go away. So, every legislation presupposes that it is in principles of rules of law and it would withstand the rigor of law. Then only we can have it. Sometimes we see number of legislations, but that is being struck off because they are not in terms of the legislation. Now, then what is the role of Supreme Court? Just here I will just give a small story. I do not know how many of you know it. Once, I don't know, it is a created one or it is in Mahabharata, I think. Arjuna and Krishna went for a walk like thing. They went towards Kandavana. Now Kandavana is there and they saw green patches of hills and all these things. Meanwhile, the god of fire, Agni, comes there. He says that I am feeling hungry. I wanted to eat this Kandavana. They said, okay, you are at liberty. You can do it. He says that, yes, I can do it. I have the ability and power. But one problem is, Takshaka is there in this Kandavana. He is not allowing me, or if I go against him, Indra will come and save the Takshaka. There will be a fight between Indra and me, and I am not certain that I can win. So, the stumbling block is Takshaka supported by Indra. Then what to do? How to do? Okay? Then they said that what should we do? You need to support us. You need to fight for our cause. We are ready. They say, we are ready, but we are not armed. What to do? If we are not armed, we can't fight. Then Agni gives them two things. If you recall the story, one is Gandivam for Arjuna and Sudarshan Chakram for Krishna. With that, they are armed, and ultimately this story is not important. So, two things were given by Agni to Arjuna and Krishna. One is Gandivam and another is Sudarshan Chakram, to protect the nature's way of thinking. Like that only, I would say that Ambedkar has given a Sudarshan Chakra and Gandiva to Indian citizens. One is Supreme Court called Gandiva, the Constitution called Sudarshan Chakra, much more effective than anything. These things are infallible, none can beat them, and this is the necessity. Ambedkar knew that people may fail, people may succumb to any other pressures, but this is the institution which doesn't succumb to any pressure, and this should survive forever. If you see the recent judgment of the Supreme Court in governor's case, if you see that, just I will read a paragraph from that, because I wanted to start my little introduction with that only. I change it to a story. In para 439, we take this opportunity to quote Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's concluding speech in the Constitutional Assembly, which is relevant today as it was in 1949. However good a constitution may be, it is sure to turn out bad because those who are called to work it happen to be bad lot. However, a bad constitution may be, it may turn out to be good if those who are called to work it happen to be a good lot. So, this is serving for the last 50 plus 24 means 74 or 75 years long. Because the persons manning the constitution may become bad, but the institution per se is not bad. When we see the three institutions, legislative, executive and the judiciary, I am very certain that rotten eggs are found everywhere. But still as on date also, judiciary has its own value. It has not eroded its values to such an extent. Today, we can't say, or it is difficult to find a good legislature, a good executive or something, but we can find good judges. Still, the last hope of every citizen is judiciary, because the institution subserves the nation's interest, it subserves the principles, it subserves the preamble values, it subserves for the good of the nation. So, however bad the people manning it, still the institution works. This conclusion, what he says that ultimately the person's meaning would work out to be good, that may be true, but the institution is also such that it can't be spoiled in any manner. The constitution is such a document which is given to ourselves that it cannot be corrupted, it cannot be manipulated, it cannot be demolished or taken away in any manner. Just before we go into little deeper things, I am very certain that every one of you know what is a constitution. It has a lot of documents, it has a lot of pages and a lot of voluminous literature on it. But the essence of the constitution has been drafted in one page only. When I ask you what is your goal, you would say that I wanted to become a good lawyer, I wanted to become a good professor, I wanted to become a rich person. Then I say, what is the path you wanted to adopt? You may say that I will just go into the judicial system, then I will work as a lawyer, one day I will become. Or else I say that for years together, I would give lectures, good lectures, then I will become a good lecturer. We are planning for short terms, we are planning for long terms. Have you ever documented it? Have you ever put it to paper? And most of the students are here. Most of the students are studying law. Have you ever put on paper your thoughts, your goals? And every management book says that you need to document your goals. How many of us have documented our goals? We just, in an open mind, we say that we wanted to become Duke, we wanted to do good, we wanted to have a righteous path, we wanted to do this and this thing. But when we wanted to put on paper, we can't. Even if we wanted to put on paper, we have 1,000 thoughts here. When it comes to paper, it is only 5 or 10 or 15. We may forget it, we may lose track of it. So this may happen to the country also. This may happen to the nation also. So we need a document. We need a goal. We need a path-setting document which is forever be on record. The Constitution is having a lot of articles. It may not be possible for everyone to read it, to understand it, or to recollect it. Therefore, the constitutional framers, more particularly Ambedkar, had suggested and ensured that there is a preamble to our constitution. Preamble is such a document which is the essence of the constitution. Entire article, each and every article has its own genesis, has its own footing in the preamble only. Just see the preamble. Everyone knows it. I need not read line by line, but for the sake of my discussion, I would say, we the people of India. So when we are giving the constitution for ourselves, we say that we the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into 3 words were added subsequently: sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure all its citizens. So this document is for the purpose of securing something for ourselves. What is this something for ourselves? Means we wanted to have a path, we wanted to have a goal. What is that goal? That has been documented in the preamble. The first goal is justice, social, economic and political. Even the seriatim in which it is used is also important. Many people may think that by giving economic liberty or economic freedom or economic excellency, we may come out of our maladies. It is not possible. Just because we are rich, we don't get our problems. Undoubtedly, wealth is necessary, but wealth alone cannot assure us the rights forever. So, Ambedkar ensured that social justice is the first part. Second is economic justice. Last is political justice. How does we get this social justice? Means there should not be any discrimination. What is the nature of the discrimination we had in 1948? Mostly caste discrimination is there, social other discriminations are there, barriers are there. So the articles, other articles like 14, 15, 16, 17 have been documented in such a fashion to ensure that social justice is a paramount consideration for us. When we say women are to be given some reservation, others have to be given some reservation, where does it has its own genesis? It's a preamble, social justice, economic justice. When we see the directive principles, economic justice would be found in terms of the in directive principles. Then the political justice, whether you have to give a reservation to X or Y. Now here also, I will just quote 1 or 2 examples to say just how whether we really accept it or not. When we say social justice discrimination. Discrimination based on caste, creed, race, religion, sex or something like that. See, here also, whether caste has such an influence or not. Now, Sir has speaking, Ambedkar has propagated against the caste system that was prevalent in those days. Now the caste system gone or not? Today also, caste system is there, it is existing, it has its roots in the society. We are not able to come out of it. Why at all a caste system has come? Have you ever examined it? If we know it, caste system basically has its roots with the way in which they use it to work or something like that. But the caste system at one point of time has its reached peak that discrimination started on the basis of it. Now to give away that discrimination, we wanted to ensure that each and every caste treated. But caste alone is not the criteria for discrimination. Suppose a person with, I'm sorry to use certain words, it may be little inconvenient, but for the purpose of discussion only. A person belonging to OC category, he fails 99.9% marks and he becomes a doctor. A person with reservation, he also becomes a doctor. Say, I belong to OC community. Now both of them have set up independent clinics. They did master's degree in medical. And incidentally, the person who doesn't belong to my community is having the skill of treating my disease. The person of my community is not having that much skill. Now, suppose I get a disease, some infirmity is there. Now, should I choose a person of my community or should I choose a person who is capable of treating my disease? I am very certain that we will choose a person of our ability only, not caste and community. Caste and community will not come to us when it comes to our personal problems. So, our importances do change. On the society bedrock we speak something, but when it comes to individuals, we only choose which is good to us. We don't discriminate the persons on the basis of the caste, creed, or sex or religion. These things are only to speak on a platform which is, we think, in existence, which is practically non-existence. When individual rights comes, we speak from our own heart. We speak from our own feelings. We have friends of other communities. We have friends of other religions. We have friends of other states, nations and countries also. It is what the value system that unites us. It is the value system that gives the bondage, but not any other thing. But we forget it and the media takes us to different areas. Hinduism, V.S.S, Muslims, V.S.S, X-V.S.S, Z-V.S.S. These things are created for the purpose of separating us or keeping our minds blocked. And we forget it, they are taken by media, rather they are our individual needs and necessities. So friends, we should not be guided by what is taken in the form of an expression in the medias and all these things. We need to understand our value system. We need to understand the value system of other individuals. When we look from that angle, we don't differentiate a person to person by caste, creed or religion. I take another example. Economics also. Suppose a person belonging to my community is working as a chaprasi, something like that. Will I invite him to my house? Will I do something with him? No. I am very certain that we don't admit it. Though belongs to me. This I will do in a concrete fashion. See, Brahmin community, I belong to Brahmin community. Brahmin community does pujas and punaskaras and all these things. See, when we give a birth to any child, there is a puja. When we go celebrate a housewarming ceremony, there is a puja. When we have a marriage, we have a puja. When we die also, there is a puja. A person is performing the puja. He is also Brahmin. And in our community, we have seen that the persons performing that religious rites, last rites, those persons earn a lot than the normal purohits. I am very certain because they can earn. See, if it is a marriage, if a purohit asks me 1 lakh rupee for performing marriage, I will postpone it. I will say that something is there in the net. I will try to put some Bhaja, Bhajantri and some mantras, and even without mantras I have this social form of marriage or Gandharva Vivaha, some Vivaha, I will say and I will do it. But that is, we are religiously fanatic. We can't say that no performance of puja, let the body be eaten or taken away. So we need to accept it. When we are accepting it, whatever he wants to charge, we need to pay him. Now, the persons doing such work, he is earning a lot of money, he is wealthier than me, but will I marry when I give my daughter to his son? He is a Brahmin community person, he is wealthier than me, he is affluent than me, he is having something to speak which I do not know that ability, but still I am not able to accept it because the way in which he is leading life, he is doing good also, but I am not able to accept. So we try to have such intimate relationship or relationship in our society based on our value system vis-a-vis the other's value system, but not based on caste or religion or economic values. So try to understand that the philosophy enunciated in the preamble is one for the good of the nation. And everything is tested on these only. Social discrimination should be out first. Then academic disparities should be out. Then politically some mileage should be given so that a person in politics of that community may uplift the value system. Today we see that many MP seats, MLA seats are given to certain candidates, those who belong to X community, Y community. Even after giving them those seats, why the communities are not developing? Say, ST community ప్రాతినిధ్యం ఇవ్వాలి, 10 seats are allocated for that. SC community కి ఇవ్వాలి 10, BC కి ఇవ్వాలి ఇచ్చినారు, OC కి ఇవ్వాలి ఇచ్చినారు. When you are giving so many seats for each community, why those communities are not developing? So they take assistance of these documents for the sake of their own individual growth, not for the growth of this society. Societal growth always will be in individual development only, individual career only. So we should not be taken away by the words of our politicians or the legislatures. We need to see how the society wanted us, to develop. This system of reservations wanted to be for short time. They are being continued. Let us not go by reservation policies. We wanted to ensure to every student, every poor person, the basic needs. The reservation should be there, the economic benefit should be there, but for the purpose of uplifting, not just for giving something a peanuts and taking power into their hands. So our vision should be beyond the political feelings or political propagandas. So justice, when we say socio-economic and political, that should be in that line. Next comes the liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship. We have our feelings of worship is good, faith and belief, none but come. Expression of thought and expression, these two will go antithesis to one another. Why liberty of thought is used? We can think of it, whatever we wanted. Suppose I wanted to imagine myself with Aishwarya Rai, I can imagine, none can object me. Then why here they have used that there should be liberty of thought? Why the liberty should be given to me? Means our liberty is also controlled by media nowadays. They say that CMR, advertisement, number of advertisements. Now whenever a saree wants to be purchased, CMR only will come. Narayana, one, second rank, third rank, fourth rank, Narayana. So when we wanted to make our students study, Narayana only comes here. See, like this media would influence. When we scroll our cell phone, we see different advertisements, everything. This is guiding the mental attitude or mental feelings of the children. That is the reason we need to put a embargo or a limitations on the cell phone usage also. Otherwise we start scrolling a particular thing. Something bad may come, something good may come. If it is good is okay, bad is also coming. So we need to have it. That is the reason Facebook or WhatsApp, what will say, whether the content is indecent, content is upset, whether the content is against the religious feelings. These limitations are required to be set. Otherwise, we were taken up by the media and other things, papers and so on. So, our thought process is determined or has its own finding on the literature available in the society. There should be a limitation on it. That is the reason liberty of thought. So, an offensive one, which is destructive one, should not be there. Therefore, there should be a legislation to stop it also. Then expression, I would say reverse way. I have a right of expression in Constitution. I wanted to express something offensive, why should there be? Okay, this offensive expression also, there is a liberty of expression. But it has its own limitation. What is the limitation? Whether it is in furtherance of the goal set up for ourselves or not. When the expression is against the goal set up, definitely there should be a control over it. So next is equality of status and dignity. There is nothing to say much, you all know it. Fraternity assuring dignity of the individual, unity and integrity of the nation. So even fraternity also, what nature of fraternity we have it, whether we have a good association with the neighboring countries or not, whether we have good association with the economic policies or not. These are also things to be determined. Now, when Trump has sent many people, it is an economic vis-a-vis fraternity. He has put some sanctions, tariff increase then, and he has set out. When we say Canada has done something wrong, then immediately our foreign minister makes a statement that our strained relationship with Canada. What is the fraternity here? Means to such nations which are having good relationship with our society, it is a fraternity. For such nations which is not having a good relationship with our society, we can't say it is a fraternity is there. Then, lastly it concludes. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day, 1949, do enact ourselves. What is this importance of November 29th, 26th day of 49? Why not it is on the 26th January 1950? See, Constitution has come into force from January 26th. Then why do we say we enact and give it to November 2049? So this is the day on which we gave the Constitution. We are giving a republic nation to ourselves. The British rule has given us freedom, but the real independence, really we became republic and we wanted to rule for ourselves. We wanted to have our own setup from 1949. So, except one or two provisions, other provisions have come up from 1950 onwards. 49 is the day on which we adopted and enacted Constitution. So, since this date 1949, we have our own goals, we have our own ideologies. On this bedrock of ideology only this. Then, these things have inputs or basis in the philosophy of Ambedkar. But for Ambedkar, these things have not been documented in this fashion. He could visualize a society where the individuals may fail, but he wanted the society should not fail. He wanted an institution called Supreme Court or hierarchy of courts which would protect the nation, which would protect the individual rights of the candidates. So, this Constitution has been drafted practically with the ideology visualized by Ambedkar. So we owe our gratitude for Ambedkar forever, whether we like it or not. What is said, whether one likes it or not, one cannot ignore Marx. Like that only, whether you admire Ambedkar or you disagree with Ambedkar, you do it. But his ideology has been documented in the form of the Constitution, and forever, as long as Constitution survives and protects the nation's right, individuals' rights of the citizens, you can't ignore Ambedkar. Ambedkar is inseparable from our Constitution. So, we need to say a great kudos to Ambedkar and Ambedkar philosophy. And just before concluding, the Sar కూర్చున్నప్పుడు అడిగినారు, ఇవాళ being a holiday also, being holiday, many people have not turned up on it. I would say two things. January 26, August 15, ఇట్లాంటి వాటినప్పుడు 15 మన అంబేద్కర్ 14th అంబేద్కర్ జయంతి రావాల్సిన బాధ్యత, రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీ అండ్ లయబిలిటీస్ ఆన్ us. 26th January is not a holiday. It is a day for celebration. 15th August is not a holiday. It is a day for celebration, liberation, independence ki daniki. When we want our rights to be translated into action, these are the 2 days. So, ఆరామ్సే ఇంట్లో కూర్చొని టీవీ చూసుకుంటున్నాను, ఐఎమ్ హ్యాపీ విత్ మై లీవ్ అంటే కుదరదు. These are the 2 days on which you need to go to the institution. You have to salute to the national anthem and national flag. Similarly, Ambedkar Jayanthi is one day where our constitutional rights are being translated into action. Kabatti, on this day also, we should not take it as a just casual leave. We need to come to a place where Ambedkar Jayanthi celebrations are being celebrated. We need to participate, we need to cherish the ideas, we need to translate them into action, and then only we can survive and we can ensure smooth progression to the next generations. Thank you for being here.